Cheers! It runs! I mean, yeah, you don't have to have your prop anymore.
It's a good prop. Are we rolling?
Yeah, we're rolling. So we finally got it figured out. We're gonna take you guys real quick through everything we tried on getting this thing running. And at the end here, we'll show you, we'll start it up and run it for you. But right now, we're gonna just sit down and kind of go through all the troubleshooting we went through to get the engine going. So I thought we would just sit down and kind of go through all the troubleshooting we did on rolling this thing out. This is my Project 92YJ. For those of you just joining us, I did a complete rebuild on the engine, rolled it outside for the first startup.
Yeah, those are pretty tight.
All right, guys, you ready? First start, let's give it a try.
Dale is a door-to-door vacuum salesman. Busted, they got you.
And
Click.
click. Oh, like the starter. Click.
Well, Jim, you do have to understand this is Jeep 2 of 3, so there are Jeeps sort of all about here, none of which can be driven right now because we took the battery from his daily driver and put it in this one. So we are sort of Jeepless.
All right, ready?
No, but we're going to do it anyway. Let's go.
No start.
Huh.
Like just nothing, wouldn't turn the engine over or anything, so.
Well, I'd say a click is something.
Yeah, we got a click, that was it. So kind of a big letdown for, you know, you do a rebuild and click, that's all you get. Is like, oh, seriously, come on.
I mean, it only took you a year, right?
Right, and it was only a year's worth of work. So we were thinking initially, at least I was thinking, issue with the starter, right? Starter's bad, solenoid on it, something. So the very first thing we did was,
I think we pounded on it.
yeah, a starter can seize up, so sometimes you get under there. If it's been sitting for a while, you give it a good whack with a hammer, rubber mallet. And it'll break it loose and turn. So we did that, and we still, after that, we got a click. Let's,
Actually, it was a viewer that suggested grab the starter from the other vehicle.
yeah, one of my viewers said, hey, grab another starter, put it in, and we're like, hey, great idea. We've got, you know, 3 other Jeeps out here, may as well. So off one of my other projects, we took the starter out, put it in here, and still the same symptom, just click. So I think the very next thing I did is I put a wrench on the engine itself. I wanted to make sure that the engine wasn't seized or some reason, you know, that it would turn over. Put a wrench on the crank and I could turn it over by hand. So that was a good indication that the engine could turn, the flywheel was free.
We were still getting clicks though.
Yeah, we're still getting clicks.
So we thought, let's measure the voltage at the starter.
Well, the battery first.
Well, the battery. Yeah.
We double checked the battery, make sure we had enough voltage in the battery to turn over the engine, and even I think put a jump starter on it, and still we're just getting the click. So then Jason started filling with the starter.
Yeah, I put some leads. I wanted to test the voltage at the starter. Put the leads on it, cranked it, and then that's the first time it actually moved. That's all we did was put some leads on the starter.
And then it started working.
And
so
it started cranking at least.
That was just some weird gremlin, and then the starter started working. So we got past that issue, and...
But then it wouldn't fire and stay running.
No.
It would kind of go, da-da-da-da.
Yeah, it would just... It would turn over, but that's it. It wouldn't start.
So then you thought maybe it's a timing issue, because of course we didn't have a timing light with us. I have one. It was at my house. Smart move.
So we were thinking it was a timing issue. I wasn't super happy with how the distributor, how the rotor was lined up. So I thought, well, let's back the rotor off, just one tooth off of the camshaft. And so it's going to change the position of the rotor, and maybe that'll do it. So I backed it off, and then after that, it turned over and ran for a second, right?
Yeah, we got it to run for 3 seconds.
Yeah, it started and ran, and just died.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, maybe it was a timing issue.
Right, but then it kind of like, it died like it was running out of gas. So then we immediately started thinking fuel delivery.
Right, so then we wanted to, are we already to that? Just in the fuel?
Oh, sure. Maybe we beat on the starter, we replaced the starter, it started cranking, we moved the timing.
Yeah, so then we started looking at, it's turning over, we think the timing is right, although we need a timing gun to double check. But because it started for a few seconds, we think we're good on timing. So then we start looking at fuel, like do we have a fuel supply issue, pressure issue, injectors, something with fuel related.
That all took 2 hours and 45 minutes. Because you're just trying to figure it out too, and we were interacting with the guys.
Yeah, it was a great live stream, a lot of great comments from viewers, so I really appreciate that. So then, did we have starting fluid? We didn't have starting fluid at that point.
I don't think so. Yeah, got it to fire just a little bit, and then I think we just quit for the next week.
So then we quit for the day. We're gonna follow this up the next week. We both have our regular jobs. We got to go work, so we'll get back to this the next weekend. Next weekend we have the fuel pressure tester, the little gauge, and some starting fluid. So I wanted to try some starting fluid in it as well.
And it actually would start on the starting fluid.
Yeah, so we started spraying some starting fluid into the throttle on the intake, and it would kind of turn over and it would try to start, but not quite. You know how you can tell an engine's like, it's wanting to start, it's like right there. So then we hook up the fuel gauge, the pressure gauge, the fuel rail on the Schrader valve.
And it was good.
Yeah, fuel pressure was up at 30, 35, kind of in that range.
Yeah, it's like in that 31 to 39 range, which is where it's supposed to be, depending on how the fuel pressure regulator is being used and how much throttle you're giving it. So yeah, it was fine.
And then it also didn't have bleed off. After we shut it off, it would hold that pressure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we're thinking fuel delivery, like it has enough pressure, so fuel delivery was okay. Mm-hmm. So we left that day thinking, all right, we got to double check the timing because we're not 100% sure.
Well, we also flow tested it.
Oh, we did the flow test, true, yeah.
Yeah, we got 500 milliliters of fuel through in 30 seconds.
Yeah, flow test was perfect, like right where it needs to be. So good flow, good pressure. So we're thinking fuel is good.
But it could have been the injectors. We were still suspicious of the injectors. Right. And we were getting spark the whole time too.
Oh, that's right, we left that out. We double checked spark. So we had what do you need for an engine to run? You need spark, fuel, and oxygen. And we had checked the spark as well.
Well, you need nitrogen too, because that's the most biggest part of air. But anyway.
Right, well no, actually, yeah, but the nitrogen doesn't burn, it's the oxygen. You put pure oxygen in there, it's gonna burn.
That's true.
So we left that day with good fuel pressure, good flow, but we need to so at the end of that day, we were going to double check the timing and grounds. A lot of viewers were mentioning double check your grounds. I thought the grounds were good, but still it's something to double check.
Like they had just been redone, basically.
Yeah,
it's like gone over it. The grounds are good.
Yeah, I had wire brushed the grounds and everything, and I knew they were grounds, and I was careful with making sure I didn't have paint on them or anything, and so I was thinking I had a good ground, but it's something to double check. Jason left that day after the fuel pressure test, and I was going to tinker with it in my garage a little bit. I thought, well, I've got time. I'll put a game on the TV, and I'll just start cleaning grounds. So I did that. I cleaned grounds, and in my garage here, I tried to start it again, and the same thing. It would just turn over, but it wouldn't want to start. So this is like 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night. I thought, well, we backed the distributor off. We need to double check the timing, but I'm going to put the distributor back where it was because I was really pretty confident that the timing was okay after the rebuild. Like, I'm going to put the distributor back where it was, squirt a little starting fluid in the throttle, and give it a try. And I did that, and it started. I was like, ah! So I sent Jason a video. It started. I was super excited. I had to shut it down real quick because I got to take it through the proper startup procedure, but I was so excited that it started. So it was a combination of things. It turned out to be the timing was correct originally. Then when we moved it, we messed it up and did all the fuel flow test, everything else with a messed up timing. And then that night, it was either cleaning the grounds, which certainly could have contributed to it, and getting the timing correct.
I think in the end, it was a ground issue. But it's really hard to put our finger on exactly what it is because we tried a bunch of different things. Things worked at different times.
Yeah.
It was weird.
So we can't say like it was distinctively this one thing that fixed it. We tried a lot of different stuff and finally got it to go. Probably the grounds and timing is what I'm thinking. The timing's good. We'll start it up for you guys and show you. It does still have a slow start. So I'm still not convinced that the injectors are great. I gotta double check those.
In fact, Dale's got a video coming soon about cleaning injectors.
Quite possibly.
He just doesn't know it yet.
So, what do you say? Let's fire it up and show our viewers.
Sounds good.
All right. All right, let's fire it up. It's gonna take a couple tries, and leave a comment down below on the slow starting. We still need to, like I said, double check the injectors, the pressure. I'm gonna mess with the put the gauge back on there, double check the pressures. But anyways, let's give it a shot. Oh, this is the wrong key. Wrong key. It's a less than good cylinder.
Yeah,
Sorry, that's Fungus's key.
it's fine. Well, at least now you know. Oh, we don't talk in the engine? Hello?
So,
Oh.
that actually started better this time than in the past. So that was actually one of the better starts. So, as a matter of fact, let's take it for a little drive. It squeaks. It's got a belt or a pulley. Let's go around the block. But I barely let the clutch out, it catches.
Yep. You can just adjust that. That's easy.
And neutral.
We're not sneaking up on anybody.
Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. What ultimately the issue was. We know part of it was timing, but I'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you guys for your help and support. I greatly appreciate it. And stay tuned next week for another video.
Just want to point out I'm never in the shot.
Well, because you're going like this.
I'm just standing here, man.
Well, I'm actually going like this too to be in the shot.
Well, I gotta. Hey!
That started good.
It did.
Hey, cheers and run!
Oh, we're just gonna smack them together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna open mine though.
I can leave this one closed. I don't have to waste it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's just a prop.
Where you going? Ready?
Yep.
All right.